Yeah, I mean, it's always very the issue kind of with this region is it's always very possible that they've been playing a ton of tournaments that aren't on HLTV, that they've been putting in a ton of practice as well. But you just never really know, so it's just a little bit of a wild card. I do believe we're almost ready though to hop on over into the game, so don't worry, we'll be shutting the hell up real soon, or at least in regards to talking here on your screen, we'll be actually getting into the game, and there we go. I thought it'd be maybe a little bit longer, but no, right into the pistol. In terms of what's been purchased up, nades for Marek, and also on Kevlar, and then it's pretty simple as well for that CT side. They just want to fight straight down mid. It's 3 already, as the Mongols manage to put a stop to YK here in this opening pistol, before they really advance at all out of the spawn. A 2-on-5 for something to try and be salvaged here for YK.
Really going to be tough. Oh, okay. Chester somehow manages to make it out despite there being two players in on the site. Finds the head of one. Salmon's also picked up Magnums here, so it gets a little weird. So go in on the site, though. Patience pays off. They will get the bomb plant. I think that's a fair result, to be honest, with the way that the start went. And potential to clutch up. Got 2 to find in towards short. Can't get the first. Manages to get away. Surely got to have heard both the players here. Oh, Salmon! That's one way to kick the series off. Okay, then. YK recovering it back. And I think a little taste of what we're in for here on the Asian qualifier.
A little taste of salmon, yeah. That was ridiculous, honestly. The fact that he even gets the bomb plant, as you were saying, that was already a really good result. It would have solidified their economy enough to probably put in a force buy here if they had have lost it. But no, does it one better. Hits a nasty couple of headshots to end it off, and should give YK a chance for a stable start to this game as long as they can overcome this force buy, which is fairly limited. I mean, it's Inferno, so you've got some pistols, you've got some SMGs, a Mag 7 in there as well. All very viable at these in these close range positions. We'll have to see what can be done now. It's YK taking their time, using those nades to actually get up the man and take control, and well, look at them move incredibly quickly. This could be a little bit risky. There is 3 players in position. They want to fight in towards the spawn, and it's the Mongols again with the initial 2 kills. We've seen this before though, and we've seen YK pull it back. Then we looking to do it again.
No, there's a player inside the smoke. Can't quite pin him down. Had to take the fight, of course, and yeah, it will just be ruined. It's the superior weaponry coming out on top here. Yami.
Was that a punt?
With the mag. Ooh. Maybe one more would have been nice. Not going to happen for them. So a decent little recovery there from YK.
Yeah. Shaky. So many shaky starts to the rounds though when they're not up against a lot is definitely somewhat worrying. But hopefully they can kind of put that behind them here in this round. Maybe let Chester build up a ton of money again. Oh, he actually swapped with Salmon, did he? So that he can try and build his economy instead. Interesting. I like it. It's like, yeah, cool. I'm already rich as hell. Just give me your Galil. I'll chill this round. You go build bank instead. And considering they're only against 2 Deagles that have been upgraded, there really shouldn't be any sort of a challenge put in. Or at the very least, if the Deagle does find something, you'd hope a trade would be ready.
Bit of a slower start to this round. Something we've not quite seen from this game. Still,
don't know if we got a lot
super
of this.
safe in on B. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess they just don't have as much weaponry available on the Mongol side, right? They're obviously trying to bait them into a little stack here in on the B bomb side. But with Salmon being in, he's kind of figured it out. Mac 10 gonna rip through these players as well. So, pick of the crop here. They can go wherever they like. Really, it should be an easy third for YK.
Yeah, should be. Likely will be as well. Machine gun hoping to maybe take 1 or 2 with him. That'd be a good outcome, all things considered, with how it's gone so far. But I think it's a bit more likely that he's about to get flanked out here by Salmon, who's going to just add a little bit to what is already 6 kills. He's had a really good start here, actually. Oh, nice shot by machine gun. Okay. Mach 10 that he can maybe hang on to. Not sure how pushed he would be to actually retain that weapon here in the next round, but it could be useful. It could ensure the full nades, make sure that there's no weaknesses in that regard. It depends how he wants to go in terms of the weaponry. Either way, he's going to save. No reason for the rest of YK to hunt him, considering they know he only got the 1 SMG in their hand. They keep all the rifles standing, which is the main thing. Oh, will they keep all the rifles standing? No, they won't in the end. Okay. It was one of the Galils, I believe, that went down. So machine gun at least making it a somewhat costly round. Pretty much the bare minimum being taken away. Oh, okay. Well, this is not what I expected into the first gun round. They just went straight into a double up setup script. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean... Okay. You got to get rounds on the board,
Yeah.
I guess.
Not a common Inferno play,
here.
though.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
see this
that
too
is
often,
very, very true.
Plus 2 even.
Yeah, they really have kind of fallen out with just how expensive it can be. And it is sort of... Usually we look towards a double up setup to be like bottom of the barrel, right? You like... Maybe if we were 5 or 6...
Second gun round, maybe,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if they were really struggling, but straight into the first one, it's tough, because if you win the round off the back of it, it's very hard to maintain. It's very expensive to maintain. So, we'll see what happens here. So far, so good. They are going to go for the B execute. They've already lost 2 players pretty quickly. Salmon on the lead, does get blinded up. NCL waiting for more flashes. A little dodgy over here. It's so panicked. They know there's a player out on this left side of the site. He's still alive as well. Looking good. Salmon with a keen frag. A key frag takes him down. But still, the man advantage swaying in favor of that Mongol side. Now, Chester against 3. Cannot get it done. So go in with a beautiful little 3K for the round. And Mongols with their first on the board.
Yeah, and normally I'd say, cool, keeping 3 standing in that first gun round, good result, but obviously, if they want to go back onto this double up setup, they're going to have to pick that one back up, then the drops come in, the nades and all, it'll pretty much deplenish all sort of economy that they could have built up from this round, so it means they need to keep this going, they need to keep convincing rounds going in their own favour, and of course we'll have to wait and see if that can happen or not, because the economy is still in a pretty decent place for YK. They've got all the rifles they could ask for, a little bit of money left over as well, not enough for another buy on top of it, but does go to show that they weren't really struggling to get what they needed here. Apart from Salmon, who's on a Galil display, I think having enough to get the thing the AK he wanted. He wouldn't have had any nades though, so yeah, I think he got the Galil. Either way, double up setup, as we said, still in play for Mongols, and a chance for really both teams here to grab some control if they can win out this second gun round.
Just mid control for YK. Or a dangerous venture into the apartments here. And, well, Freeman, spidey senses tingling a little bit. Knows that as the apps alert player, he needs to get good timing. Hope he's been watching a bit of ROPS. But either way, yeah, really, really gentle into this round, isn't it? YK, we've seen a lot more aggression from them usually. I mean, even in that, you know, pistol round that was a bit slower, I think they were charging in. They were looking for fights, but there was just no one around to take them. Obviously in the previous, they just zoom into B. So this slower default, winding the clock down, minute already gone, is a first for them for sure.
Yeah, now they're just going to burst out A. Fortunately into what is already a pretty strong setup. Although with the deeper long smoke around Moto, they have potentially pulled some of the focus away because it's not known whether they could have crept through Archer or not, as you can see. Like Sogo out of position, it's going to pull Yami in for a short peek to see what's going on. Does he actually spot that player? It takes him a moment to do so. Actually comes away with the kill on Chester instead, and now it's Magnums with the up being just pinched in on. There was nothing that he could do there, unfortunately. Would have been fortunate to get a second shot off, let alone land it, and now with a 3-on-2, YK, they have a somewhat favourable position for sure, but it's not the firmest of control. As you can see, damage has been done. And if not for the op here, I'd say that they have a pretty good shot at moving in, but it's going to be tough. Machine Gun will need to land this first shot. NCL, he'll have to be the one to try and actually breach the site open. You can see as soon as they find contact, there's a player ready in the pit. There was one in the grave as well to pop up. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to find anything. Instead, it comes down to Salmon and Marek to make it work between pit and site, and well, they do just that. It's going to be 4-1. An immediate return from YK. Mongols now, they're left feeling the expense of that double up setup that they were rocking in those 2 initial rounds, because they're just short on a couple players, and I think it's gotta really be the eco that they go for.
Pretty decent set round from YK, right? A lot better than the forced B rush that we saw in that previous rifle. So really, really good stuff. Patience, taking the space and working with it. Very well played, and you know, some good protocols in there, all that good stuff that we like to see. Like you said though, half buy coming in from the Mongols, saving some cash money. Still, these are the types of rounds that can be deadly. Flash comes in. Timing is slightly off, but it gives Machine Gun the confidence to take the peak, and that's the key thing. Nice shot on the Deagle. He's looking good. Maybe he should rename himself.
Yeah.
See here.
He's upgraded his other stats since he named himself. He had mained Machine Gun, you know, but he's got everything maxed now at 99, and, well, yeah, the Deagle's definitely up there. So King, that was ambitious in fairness, trying to push him through that smoke. Pays the price and gives over an AK, importantly, to Machine Gun. Ooh. Oh no, he just about misses them. I was gonna say, if Sogu continued to rotate, that might have worked against him completely, but thankfully he is still in position at Mo. Oh, at least to confirm the info, and, well, are they gonna wrap B? No, it looks like A is the target, and Sogu stays up close on that CZ, and somehow comes away without even taking any damage, really. One bullet landed on himself. 2 instant headshots as they come around the corner on that CZ, and, well, Marek, he will get 1 kill, but he's left reeling on 50 in health right now. At most, maybe 1 more to come his way, and then he'll be traded as they have 3 players positioned in on long, and there you have it. The MP9 to get the finish. It's going to be an immediate trade back by the Mongols off the back of, as we said, just a half buy. They didn't even fully invest.
That's one of those key rounds in the first half, isn't it? I mean, yeah, the buy really not great at all, and they just give... Sometimes, you know, a bit too much respect to Cross. I think you have to be careful when you see that Deagle in play, finds the first head. How do you respond? And they just didn't really... They continued to try and fight it. And it's just not the move, as we saw, and it's actually demolished their economy now. So a really good chance for Mongols to close the gap.
Yeah, should be able to, although, I don't know. You know, you never know with the pistols here on Inferno. You never know in Asian CS, although it's been a couple of years since I've been able to frequent it. These weaker rounds were always absolutely crazy, so I'm going to wait until the first point of contact comes in before I make my judgment. A little bit of a group up towards mid. Doesn't look like they're really moving with it, though. Unfortunately, as they head up Banana, the smoke just about goes down at the half wall, and that should be a good spot for Machine Gun. I thought he was going to get to 2 on the spray down. Not quite, but he's happy enough with 1 kill. He can fall back. He knows that they've already started this round with an advantage. He's extended it even further now in their favor. And they can just ensure that this is the round that they need, where they come out with 5 alive, where they don't make any mistakes and don't drop anything at all, so that they can close in the gap and hopefully start building out a strong CT side. What the hell, Chester? Alright. Finds the head above the coffin, so just about taking the wallbang connection on NCL as he went to peek the spawn, and at the very least now they've gotten a bomb plant out of this, and with a couple of rifles they can definitely convert it into a round win.
Well, Dean, when you're right, you're right. These pistol rounds continuing to be crazy. Nice nade. Freeman. Timing here, and he does for 1. It's info as well that they could work with. Yami gets another as Chester tries to go for that trade. Marek, with no armor, cannot find anything more. So, look, you can still be happy with that on the YK side of things. Big damage, bomb plant. It is satisfying, but there is maybe an argument to be made that the round is in your hands, and they just couldn't quite convert it. A little too aggressive in some of the spots, but the benefit of hindsight, right? When you're in the moment and you feel the pressure, and those straight up 1v1s are going to be tough when everyone is unarmored. So you kind of get it. But, like I say, it's nice. You get the bomb plant. You got a couple players here who have some spare money in the bank. Will help you in the future rounds if a few losses come in or a few close rounds come in. So, we'll see here. Run boost at mid. 3 in at Banana. Mongols are not messing around. Going to be left low. Nice bit of damage coming through from Yami, but no kills in these early exchanges, Dean.
Yeah, and I mean, he kind of sustained about the same in the molly in order to actually dish it out. Magnums. He is going to find a challenge here, but it's from a bit too many players, I'd imagine, for him to handle. So going in for a repeat, especially now, would be a bad idea. I was going to say even just holding the angle in general would mean he'd likely get traded, but to come away with 1 there once he went back in was a pretty good result, I'd say. Unfortunately, now the 4-on-4 leaves YK with a good bit of time to take this mid control and then to just reassess what they want out of this round. They don't have to rush into a commitment. They have time if they want to move back. The only problem is, it'd be Machine Gun they'd have to contend with at the top of Banana on that AWP. He's just playing for info. He's hoping to be able to confirm if they do move back in this direction, and of course it's allowing a little bit of a gamble. They haven't fully committed NCL to A, though.
Great flash comes in. Sogo differentials a bit more, getting kind of awkward on the side by the looks of things. Yami has yet to be activated, but Freeman next through them. NCL, nice timing and just about able to get away, left on 20 HP, so Chester, not an impossible 1v2. They're going to do a bit of a Bogdan's. Nice Molotov as well to get Chester into an awkward spot here for the bomb plant. And they aren't rushing. You know, he goes for that quick flash, expecting them to come round. Even with the bomb going down, they are not rushing. Trying to trade into each other here, though. Could be dangerous, but NCL on the crouch peak with the AWP is going to get it done. So, Mongols looking pretty good, you know. This, I think, is going to be a lot closer than maybe some of the bookies and whatnot expected.
Yeah, I think you were saying YK were looking to be favourites, was it, slightly?
Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly a game that could go either way. We mentioned Inferno here, at least. Looks like it should be a bit of an advantage for YK, considering the results that Mongols have had. It's very limited, obviously, only a couple of games. But in their most recent game, literally just a few days ago, they got absolutely slapped about by Lin Vision 60-4. So it's a map where they've definitely got some weaknesses. But I suppose with that just being a few days ago, they might have had a look back at that game, learn from their mistakes, and well, we'll be able to tell with time, of course. Aggression from Magnums there is a little bit risky, but he makes it work. I thought he was about to get the 2 kills from it, but I think it was just a bit of damage that he landed on Zoking in the background as well. Either way, considering what they're up against, it's nice to just take one of those players out early on and just pile the pressure on.
Going to be difficult from here, isn't it, to break back into the round?
Maybe not. This 4-1 split might work in their favour right now. Normally I'd say no, but considering they're up against the op and they're only on pistols, if they can trade this, they might have a chance to actually get a bomb plant.
Well, we'll see. Machine gun kind of comes down to him, really. Damage on the side. Can't find the kill, and that refaces the risk, isn't it? There is the rotation in from NCL. Gets the molly down. Joking a little keen. Salmon trying through the Molotov, but not going to work. Fire is hot, and it hurts. I think he has just learned that one the hard way. Boost up coming in, doesn't quite work. Bit weird. So once again, you know, we're getting a bomb plant here for YK where we maybe don't expect one. Marek's going to have to do something pretty incredible from here. He's got the first 2. Uh-oh. Flash coming in. He's just not ready for that player in towards Ruins. Oh, man. In your mind's eye, you could see it happening. A little bit of a munacy, but not going to happen. And Mongols will now actually take the lead.
Yeah, you could feel it for a moment, but after he gets that second kill and doesn't get the third chance immediately, you could see the Mongols just kind of go, hang on a sec, let's not give him this. 5-4 though, they managed to take the lead, considering the very, very shaky start that was had with how the pistol round and such went down. They've done a great job at picking things up and managing to actually get a good CT side going so far, at least out of what they've been able to do, but obviously they need to build quite a bit more, and with this double op setup still being something they're so insistent on, they could very quickly be broken down. And if they were to be left on an eco, if they were to be left looking at a double eco, at that point YK would already build to a really strong T side. So yeah, they need to keep this up, they need to keep on winning out rounds, and well, apparently they need to keep on finding these early openings because they've been very successful in that regard.
We go, flash in, ineffective, machine gun not really blinded up, and the boost as well. Oh man, it looked good. I think he dropped himself a smoke so he didn't get mollied. The timing wasn't really there though. Still only 3 players remaining for this YK side. Machine gun, of course, still alive and keeping bits of control. We got a flank coming in from Yami. He's actually very fast. So I really don't know how they play this one out. YK just hidden in towards the secret spots, you know, those difficult spots to fight out from ultimately. Mongols taking it kind of slow though. We're already halfway through tick. We've only got the 1 kit, so it could get a little weird if that gets dropped. Molotov coming in. Chester still finds the frag though. Machine gun on the Tech 9, however, going to try and close the gap here. They don't quite know where this last player is at. Marek in the smoke. All he has to do is deny the defuse, but machine gun sharp as attack will indeed watch for that smoke push.
Yeah, he must have hit a bit of a flick right there because he had a few angles to deal with. You know for sure, though, once he kills that first player, it's in the back of his mind that the other player's hiding in there behind the smoke. Couldn't take the risk not to look elsewhere, but yeah, positioned himself well, just basically to be ready as a body shield if needed to the banana angle also. Pause coming in, though. We're going to get the tack pause from YK. Wasn't too sure how liberal the teams are going to be with these pauses. Sometimes even in Challenger League itself, we'll have teams just kind of going a ridiculous amount of time and only calling in that pause when they're already pretty much out of all hope. YK, of course, not letting that happen. They're going to call it in now. They can get the buyback out as well immediately, so they're going to be able to keep the pressure on. And as we said again, still the money hasn't really built up all that much for the Mongols, so they have that chance. Win 1, win 2 even. At that point, then you're on track to come out with, who knows, maybe even still 9 on the half. So it's very doable. Here we go. They have everything they could pretty much ask for. Could get the op even if they wanted. But no, not necessary. Up against a double op setup especially, maneuverability is probably a little bit more useful.
Yeah, this double op setup, I mean, we questioned it so early, but it seems to be where the core of their confidence is at. Magnum's left on 9. I think a nade and some bullets. Certainly not the best way to start the round, although, again, on the AWP, maybe the genius of it. Silent jump up here into apartments, if you're wondering why they're doing that. So the info not really going to be there for the Mongols, but at the same time, they're not really playing all that aggressive, so they are wary of the apartments anyway. In comes all the nadage here. YK going for another one of these step rounds, down through short. Yami, surely you feel like you found something there. It is going to be Sogo for 2. NCL, meanwhile, there's a big gap in this moto smoke. Not sure if it's intentional. He can't find anything with it, though. So now it's just the 2 AWPs remaining, and I don't think this is what you want in a retake.
No, I think already you've just got to concede. Back away, especially with the health that Magnum's had. Maybe if both of them were full health, you'd try and trade out for a rifle or 2. Look for that first pick and give it a go, considering the bomb hadn't been down very long, but yeah, in their current position, you can't blame them for just wanting to get out of there. Strong round, though, from YK. They've struggled for a few now to actually crack through, but this 1 round win, as we said, even with the 2 ops being saved, is still going to drain the entire bank of the Mongols. It shouldn't affect them too much here in this next round. They should still be able to get their weapons out. A couple of drops will come in as well. So there is that. If they're to lose this next gun round, that's when the Mongols would really start to be in trouble. As I said, then you have YK at least up towards 7 on the T side, and if they were to just take that next gun round, 9 would pretty much be free for them. So you definitely do not want to let that happen if you're the Mongols. Salmon having a really good game there, as you can see, for YK on 12 kills right now. But it's been pretty much a team effort. You've had Chester having a pretty solid showing. Had that insane pistol round, obviously, that kind of started things off for them, even though they lost against the Force Spy afterwards. Still kept the... It set the chaotic trend, I suppose, for what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, that is for sure. Always exciting, I suppose, right? Never a dull moment is perhaps the tagline of Asian Counter-Strike. Especially in the Derby vibe. So, let's see whether it continues. Of course, got Mirage up after this. Surely Nuke would have a bit more structure if we get there.
You'd think so.
Magnum's... you would think so. Magnum's lining up a smoke. Actually, a lot of sight control given away here. This could get very awkward very quickly. Looking to play for the retake once again. Magnum's once again going to be left super low. Maybe need NCL to get a boost up here. Could have denied the bomb plant. Not going to be in action, though. I really don't know how they approach this one, to be honest with you. You know, limited utility. And it's just been so much time. They've not been able to, you know, upset things. A very, very solid post-plant setup here makes life incredibly challenging. They will start to move away, though, and go for the save. So we have no kills. Is that going to be the case as the round ends? Any spams through the smoke here? Doesn't look to be it. So Mongols kind of messing up a little bit. Their B-hold, as I mentioned earlier on in the round, just wasn't really present, and they pay the price.
It's a bit of a strange one. I'm surprised they even then stuck around so long. Okay, Salmon does to the bomb. A little bit more damage now, of course. Didn't quite make it far enough away. But yeah, I mean, fortunate to have actually survived with all 5 players there in the end, to have allowed themselves to at least have another shot at this one now. But YK have already got 6 rounds here on this T side. It's a pretty decent showing no matter what, even if they do manage to lose all 3 remaining rounds. And I mean, they have a decent economy. Chances are they can maybe grind out at least one more, even if it's not here and now. So it does seem like the pressure is still a little bit more in the on the side of the Mongols right now. Definitely mountain. Magnum's, as always, goes for that mid-peak. This time doesn't commit to it quite as heavily, just gets flashed off the angle. And YK are happy enough to just take a fairly slow default. It seems, though, they've swapped up the focus. They've got heavy apps control. We haven't seen this yet from them. This is a change-up.
The flashes. Sogo does actually manage to find one. Okie dokie. Marek going to be left low as well. Yami traded, but there's still Sogo in on the site, and he is not going down. Not going down easily, that is for sure. Crazy shot through the smoke. Sogo's still alive, and now it's just Freeman in the 1-on-3. Would have looked good, eh? But Machine Gun going to tag him up. The nade doesn't quite finish him off. Machine Gun is just buying time. Actually finds the kill himself, but I think he was dead to rights there. Mongols will regain their lead here, Dean. Looking good. Loving this CT side so far.
Yeah, there's been quite a few moments where YK have been on the brink of cracking through it, but it does seem like they're managing to keep it together. Good showings from Sogu, from Machine Gun. That's what you need to see. As we said, this is YK's map choice as well, so if the Mongols can steal this one away, they'd be putting themselves in a fantastic position to maybe even have a run at the 2-0, which I don't think either of us really would have been expecting. Although I can't say it'd be too shocking considering just kind of how much of a wild card this game was in general for us. Machine Gun, though, he's tempted for this repeat. He could be punished indeed. Best to just back away. He's wasted quite a bit of time. He's making them use a ton of nades in order to actually get that banana control. And although it doesn't allow them to keep that 4-man A-stack in place, they have at least, as I said, made YK work for the control. Made a bit of noise, I think, while trying to get this boost in place.
Yeah, I think so.
Wonder if it was heard.
Either way, play coming in. Oh, great flash. Machine Gun, though, just gets a bit of vision to get the shot in. Joe King with a keen trade. NCL, meanwhile, towards New Box. They know he's here. He's trying to find the angle, but unfortunately, crouch like that, it just gives the advantage to the right eye. Peeker, of course. All that kind of nuance of the game. 3-on-3 for the retake here, Dean. We, again, have the Orphan playing with only the one kit. Smoked out once again, and Mongols, they not being too confident with these types of retakes, so we might see them go for another save.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you've kind of got it. Getting away, though, I don't think it's going to be too easy considering Chester's ready to beat the spawn, and oh, it's a ridiculously quick shot. Doesn't land the follow-up on Magnum, but it looks like he's tempted to re-peek, so he's going to be giving away his op either way. Had a choice about it, didn't need to give that away at all right there, and considering their economy, definitely shouldn't have. Now they're going to be just about scraping things together here in this final round of the half. YK, after you saying that Mongols had such a good CT side after they had managed to pull the recovery together, unfortunately in the last couple of rounds just have it pretty much completely collapsed. Now they've got 3 rifles, an SMG, a CZ. It's better than I thought it was going to be, I won't lie. But it's still not all that great. Need to see some sort of heroics being pulled off, and well, it might be Machine Gun to give it to us. Unfortunately, a molly and a flash combining a top banana. Leave him exposed in the open there with really no hope at all of coming out with anything from that fight. He's taken down, no damage even being dealt in the process of it either, and that's one of the M4s now taken out of the control of the Mongols, importantly as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, maybe you got to send it in with some support. Something. I don't know. Michael's going to try and catch them here. Oh, but the boost is in. Beautiful stuff. Shoking. Reading, ready. Good to go. And now just NCL with this MP9. Flank is in fast, but Chester again. I think the info was through there from Freeman in the apartments. Heard him running past. Couldn't catch him himself. So obviously just watch your flank. Have we had a little bit of a disconnect here? Uh-oh.
It is looking like it, unfortunately.
Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. We might, I hope it's just kind of on our end and the round doesn't fizzle out. It looks like, you know, YK are going to win that one pretty easily. Yeah. wouldn't be a qualifier without a few qualification issues, I guess, right?
Can't be too smooth. Need to keep everyone on their toes, you know.
Yes, yeah.
But,
make sure, you know, that everyone's getting their money's worth. The admins are having to do some work or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, as you were saying, fingers crossed though it was just a GoTV issue and not an actual server one, because that's never fun.
I'm not sure. The timer's still rolling down.
Oh, I got kicked out of VMix, I mean.
Oh, okay.
I had to rejoin.
Well, you're getting the
I'm
double
back
whammy,
now.
mate. I'm all good. I'm still in. I'm seeing minus. This is not natural. The timer is really.
It looks like
what's happening.
It looks like something
I don't
Elon
think we're
Musk could
supposed
name
to
a
see
child.
this. Yeah, I don't think we're. I don't think we're supposed to see that. You know, I think that's some kind of.
I think
sacrilege.
we're just on break now, I presume.
I'm out of focus, I need a spark. I can't keep living in the dark. Nothing feels right, my thoughts are unclear. I just wish that you were here. 'Cause when I'm alone, I get lost in my head. And I try to think back to the things that you said. But living without you is taking a toll. Feel like I might lose control. When I'm down and can't push through, I know you're the one I can turn to. You make me feel like someone new. 'Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you. Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you. When I'm down and can't push through, I know you're the one I can turn to. You make me feel like someone new. 'Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you. I couldn't imagine where we would be now. I wish we could somehow live in a moment in time where I was yours and you were mine. 'Cause when I'm alone, I get lost in my head. And I try to think back to the things that you said. But living without you is taking a toll. Feel like I might lose control. When I'm down and can't push through, I know you're the one I can turn to. You make me feel like someone new. 'Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you. Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you. When I'm down and can't push through, I know you're the one I can turn to. You make me feel like someone new. 'Cause I'm never sober when I'm with you.
Let's love for the night. Slow dance till the sun comes up. Let's touch under lights. Slow dance till we're high on love, high on love. Till we're high on love, high on love. Till we're high on love.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical issue there with the with some internet, unfortunately, going down. Thankfully, the timing wasn't the worst, considering it was just about to go into the halftime break anyway, where you get a few minutes of pause. So that took up most of the time that we were sitting about either way. So we didn't miss a ton. It is, I believe, A7 in favor of YK, if I recall correctly. They were 5-on-2 anyway when things went down there at the end of that round. So I presume they got to finish in the end. Unless some sort of crazy miracle was pulled off. But the Mongols, I mean, they done okay with what they were given throughout that CT side. It was just the double up setup, never really getting a chance to build any sort of economy. Every time they paid any sort of a price, it was usually a couple of rounds that went the way of YK before it was responded on.
Yeah, pretty much, right? I mean, we did have a little bit of a run, I think, from the Mongols when they got those rifles working a little bit, and the double up setup that we were kind of like umming and ahhing about seemed to indeed give them that springboard that they needed immediately. So definitely a decent enough start, I think, coming into it. But yeah, I'm pretty intrigued to see now how things pan out, right? Because at the moment we are saying meta-wise that CT side is a little bit stronger. Have Mongols built up enough rounds? Obviously, we had a weird sort of, misconversion of the pistol and everything like that. So hopefully this pistol here kind of gives a chance to one of these teams to really start to extend the lead and whatnot. I'm just kind of looking, where score lines are at as well. We had a few individuals on both sides, I think, that were lacking a little bit. So I'm curious to see whether they can pick it up. And Magnums is one, actually, so the AWP, funnily enough, the main AWP player, I guess, not really hitting the mark on that CT side. So yeah, so far it has been unpredictable, and it seems every round is kind of winnable for both teams, irregardless of the bye. I'm just curious now, YK, their map pick, moving on to the CT side, what do they have in store for us?
Yeah, I'm curious. Going back to Magnums as well, as you were saying, I don't think things are necessarily going to get easier if he wants to keep on upping on that T side either. Machine Gun looked pretty good on the up on that CT side. In fairness, he was kind of a pivotal role within their setup. I think that's why they wanted that double up setup so much, because they wanted to be able to get that one player and then rotate the fourth around towards A. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a similar approach, of course, now from YK on their CT side, because that feels very old school Inferno. It's still a setup that's thrown in, but it's not as common anymore, because usually it's something that can be countered, especially once it's known that they're going heavy towards that setup, and in all rounds you can bait it out pretty quickly and manage to, at the very least, trade and take a ton of banana. And even if you don't fully commit to B, you can have those rotations just scrambling everyone to then give a new opportunity for you to punish. We didn't really get to see a ton of that, of course, but YK still came out with a really good T side either way. But yeah, moving into the second half, I mean, this pistol round obviously going to be super duper important, especially for the Mongols now on this T side. I need to see them pick it up, ideally get some sort of momentum, because even the rounds they were getting on that CT side, it was usually fairly hectic. Even when they'd have really good starts, they'd get one or two early picks. It would still be fought back into a position where it usually looked like YK had a chance in the round.
Yeah, that's fairly true, actually, where, some of these early starts into the round really didn't necessarily decide it, actually. You'd say that it's like, okay, aggression comes their way, players rushing through Molotovs and things like that as well. Not a lot of self-preservation from the YK boys, I think, gave a chance across in a number of rounds. And even then, yeah, the conversion was really, really tough and often quite costly. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that the close competition is definitely what we wanted, but YK, they, for me, should have an opportunity here to start going ahead. As you said, pistol's super important, but at the same time, I just think that YK, their individuals are looking a little more activated across the board. So I do feel it's going to be a challenge here. But again, you never really know what to expect. YK was super aggressive. They had these kind of set rounds where it's like, right, we're going to execute, down short. We're going to execute in towards B. And they kind of just hard commit. So curious to see where the Mongols have a similar style. We are back into the action, though. Thank you very much for your patience, folks. And, well, YK, they're going to nick one out of the Mongols' book here. Rushing straight down middle. Flash comes in, making that first kill nice and easy. An isolated player as well in Banana, if they can kind of track him down. He seems to be fighting his way out at the moment, though. Magnums with 2 before falling. So here we go. Curious stuff indeed. What has happened here? The bomb's out on A. Sogo from second mid's going to find one. He's got support now as well to work with. Chester can't get another. Sogo just rips all the heads clean off, and that'll be the pistol going the way of the Mongols.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to touch on there just before we got back in. Sogo and Machine Gun obviously have been playing really, really well, and it can be a little bit harder to actually be, I guess, carry it on the CT side with everyone else not having quite as strong of a game. So they might be given a bit more freedom now on this T side. And perhaps that's kind of the push that the Mongols need. A couple of players who are really opening things up and giving them those early advantages. So let's see. YK anyway on a force buy. Just pistols, Kevlar, decent utility, all things considered behind it. The Mongols have gone for a relatively secure buy with a ton of rifles. That was crazy from Freeman. Unfortunately punished pretty quickly for it. And yeah, 5-on-4 pretty early on. 3 towards Banana, so, or at least towards B. It's going to be interesting if they do try and go up past the half wall, but instead of soaking, it just charges through the smoke. That was a little bit surprising. At least there's a single trade to come back in. That'll get them an AK even, but I mean, he doesn't even come out unscathed. Marek down to 51 himself.
Magnums, though. He's worked his way out long here. Checking all his angles. Nearly gets timed on, but fast. Of course, doesn't get to this level without a few flicks like that. Chester hidden away in towards the graveyard, looking for just one, but can't get it. Marek hoping to get away with an AK, also cannot get that. So, clean finish for Mongols. Pretty solid start here to the T side. YK, I'm sure they are worrying a little bit, right? They've got an eco here and then the rifle, and a lot of pressure on that rifle to get some marks here. Maybe not the round itself, but certainly, you know, making something stick, because so far, she's not really been all that competitive.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a change in this round, unfortunately. There's a flash of smoke. P250, that's all the investment. Some chance there, at least taking a risk here with that B stack coming in slightly. Holding the flash, waiting on contact to come in where they're already heavily committed at that point if they were to be fully moving into B. So, see the idea behind what they're going for right now, but it really does just depend on waiting and hoping that the Mongols are going to play into their hand, which is always a possibility. But considering where NCL is as well, if they were to move towards B, he'd probably be functioning as a bit of a scout with that Mac 10, trying to find out and feel if it is the stack on the bomb site. And I think that might be the goal here, putting down the bit of utility to bait the peaks in.
Oh, there's the flash. Heard, though. Turned away from by NCL. He'll still go down, but it's Machine Gun with the cleanup here. On for one more, and he's going to get it. It's actually Magnums that steals it away, all the same. Swaps to the Mac 10. I guess wanting to go hunting for money. Either way, Freeman the only one left. Spotted out. Should be finished in a sec here, and he will indeed. So, once again, another pretty clean round. Machine Gun gets his AK back. And now Mongols moving ahead by 2. And as I said, this rifle round, man, there's a lot of value here. YK really do need to get something substantial going. No double up setup for them, but at the very least, they've got one.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be looking for the double up quite as much either. As we said, it's pretty uncommon to be pulling out, especially in the first gun round on the CT side. In terms of the buy here, though, very little reinvestment has been put in. NCL spends a ton, but other than that, there's enough for another buy in the reserve for the Mongols, meaning this is basically a bonus round, and they've already kicked it off on an incredibly high note. That swing in on mid rips off the head of Chester, and Machine Gun looking to lead by example right now for his team. So King playing a risky position here. It looks like he's tempted to maybe try and peek once that smoke fades away, but not too sure how good of an idea that would be. I didn't realize they'd actually smoked long itself. Obviously, that's why he pushed through, so we could still play alongside Freeman and not just abandon him under quad. Problem is now he's going to be re-smoked again, and we'll have to see whether they want to stick around and fight for it. Looks like they'll just drop a few nades and hope to maybe slow the push and likely gain info at least as it comes in. Freeman blinded up. They've already got a player out in mid now. Doesn't look like they're too determined about the actual commitment, though, considering the bomb's back on ramp.
They have options. Grab some utility as well there for the B. Oh, exec. It's loose. I mean, it is just salmon over here, but still. Probing for information in towards middle. A big kill from Freeman, actually. Rotation going to come through. Will it be fast enough? It looks like it. Shoking here on this A4. Trying to make it work. Still seeing a lot more A1Ss, but we'll see what this A4 can get done. As I said, limited utility. This coffin area not going to be smoked off, and he will make the most of it. In for one. Salmon hidden away at the back pillar here as well. Great little angle. Flash comes in at the perfect time, but he can't convert. That was the chance to get the round back in their favor, but Magnum's still going for the plant. Bit of miscommunication, perhaps. Yami will trade. There's no time. That's why he was going for it, of course. Even I lost track, nonetheless. YK will get themselves a ninth, and they'll drop Yami after time. Disaster on B for Mongols.
Yeah, we did say it was the bonus round at the very least, so the buys are going to be kept up, but nothing really left over afterwards. So this is a round here that could decide whether YK tie it up and then probably build up a lead off the back of it themselves, or whether the Mongols are going to be able to just get back into a way of comfort, I suppose. So good, that is ballsy, and it works to at least get the first kill. Sadly, he's not going to be coming away with his life after he burns to death, but, well, we'll see if his teammates can make it worthwhile now or not. Can they actually get that banana control? They won't be able to get the punish on Marek, who went in for the repeak. They do just wait for him to fall back away. Machine Gun then moves in, taking the map control, and considering they've still got a minute and 20 seconds remaining, it's not a bad spot to be in. The problem is, they've sustained some damage in doing so as well, so it's not a comfortable 4-on-4 at all.
We'll see here. Hoping to get this B bomb site working once again. Really go for them last time. One molly in. Magnum's got a few to work with by the looks of things, so maybe trying to sell some kind of a fake, but no, the bomb's making its way over here. We've got two-man apps push meanwhile, so again, information gathering coming through from YK. They've done a great job of this. Mongols so far, T-side, pretty telegraphed. There's one, there's the rest of them, right? There's not too much mind gaming going on. Marek, though, the only one in on the site, needs this contact flash and fast. Unfortunately, doesn't realize that he's spotted out. Machine Gun will take him down. Pretty key frag. Look how low some of the players are, right? So to get that man advantage, it's absolutely huge here.
Yeah, we had the Mongols left in a few retake positions like this themselves, where they were kind of just forced to give it up, and I'm kind of surprised the same decision here hasn't been made. That nade, though, not going to get the kill on NCL. Goes a little bit too deep. Would have been a great kill to actually kick things off. First frag at least does come in favor of the CTs, and well, a trade going again towards them puts them suddenly in full control, and they clear out that back corner with just enough time, I believe, to spare. It was Chester who had the kiss, so he had to hop on it, and yeah, it's very, very close. About a second that max they're remaining. As YK somehow come away with that 3-on-4 retake, they tie us up at 10-10. The bomb plant at least went down, so the Mongols look like they're going to put in a force play here again, but there's a couple players just about 3,000. NCL and Yami, although they can get the rifles, won't really have any utility behind it, so it's an interesting one. I presumed they were going for the force play because Machine Gun did, but it doesn't actually look like they are going to go for it. He just spent the excess cash. They get 2,400 loss bonus, so if you can get a kill and if they can get a bomb plant, then it won't be too big of a deal.
There we go. Pressure certainly mounting here on map number 1. Super back and forth. Looking for a peek, ain't nobody there. Really slow stuff here. I think Mongols, you know, starting to get stuck for ideas, it looks like, to be honest with you, Dean, right? The B hits that they've tried to go for have not quite worked out. Close, but still not close enough. And they are, again, going to shape up for B. So I really don't know what to say here.
It's a rough spot to be in right now. Very kind of fragile part of the game, I suppose, which can send either team spiraling out of control. It's not like YK have much economy to go off of either. Salmon going to be tagged up a small bit as he goes for that peek. At this point, he just wants to waste as much time as he can. The problem is, he's being wrapped on. Thankfully, the smoke against his back there gives him just enough room to make it away with 2 kills. He's done as much as he possibly could have. The problem then is they're not willing to wait. Chester wanted to go in and see if he could stop that bomb plant. I understand the idea, but they had a 4-on-3. Instead, now they've got to come in and reclaim it with initially equal numbers, but that's not going to last very long. They take 1 each on that retake. It's a team effort as an 11th round goes the way of YK. This is their map choice. And they're just about edging themselves into a lead now after what has been a very, very scrappy time so far.
Wonderful stuff. Absolutely wonderful stuff. YK. Looking to find some stability here. Looking good with the rifles. Give us 1 or 2 more and I think we'd be really convinced as to why they picked this map. So, again, buy coming in from Mongols. Looking good. No AWP. Slightly curious, you have to say. Considering the amount of AWPs that we've seen throughout this game. And Mongols, again, just this very far back default. YK Gaming, they're starting to figure it out. You can see, man, you know, the banana aggression coming in really screws the idea of Mongols. They've loved going towards B, so now that they're going to have to retake that control, I don't know if it changes their plans, maybe.
Ooh. Ambitious, trying to hit that shot. Looks like they're just going to go in for a bit of a later B here. Still a ton of time, so they don't really need the rush to commitment, but it does seem like they're pretty certain about what they want to do right now. Utility-wise, there's actually a couple of smokes here still, I believe, that could slow them down potentially, so they do need to be a bit careful about when they move. If they're just pushed straight up through the smoke, they could find trouble. Zoking trades places with them as Marek does the damage. He's actually going to catch the man in the background. Great work by Zoking. Manages to even steal the bomb back from them. Leaving it all on Yami and... oh, not feeling too good about himself, I wouldn't imagine right now. Nearly caught that spray on Zoking. If he gets this kill quickly, then he's got a bit of freedom to work with. There is still this flanker. Seems to expect it. Knows it was here, of course, because of the molly that came in, but he can't land the shots. If he found that he may have just about had the time to sprint it towards A and perhaps come away with a ridiculous clutch. Unfortunately, he falls short. It's going to be 12-10 for YK. I mean, rounds like that kind of sum up how it feels like this whole game has been going, doesn't it? Where the Mongols are able to put up good fights, but fortunately in the ones where they do lose, where they keep it close, it's just not quite enough. They fall short on those swing rounds. And, well, now they don't even have a full buy to actually come out with. So good. Does have an AK, though, with body armor.
Yeah, I mean,
Risky
investment, isn't it? Yeah, for sure, right. Nice little Molotov as well, machine gun. I think going to be heard here and definitely taking the damage, right? So, decent enough start. Freeman in between 2 angles. Doesn't quite know where to look. Where are they coming from? It's going to be Boiler in a sec. Okay, Molotov comes in, pushes the player out, and he does manage to find his kill. Going to look for more as well. In and around this pillar with no flashes, it can be very hard to deal with. And he even gets a third on the nade. Lovely stuff. Now, just NCL and Magnums. Yeah, the Mongols T-side, man, it is really falling apart.
Might be able to come away with a kill, but I wouldn't be expecting much more, and even then, they flash it in, they work off of each other. It's a 5-on-1, they're not even against rifles at that point, but they still aren't willing to take any risks that are unnecessary. Or at least more so than they already were, because, I mean, they were running down mid, but, like, whatever. 13-10. YK have begun to take some control here on the CT side. I mean, we've seen the same from Mongols, where they got that stretch of rounds going for themselves. Obviously, YK then turned it around towards the end and still managed to come away with a really solid half for themselves. So we need to see a very, very, very similar turnaround here from the Mongols if they're to make this happen. As Machine Gun, he has no idea. Had a molly in his hand, or a smoke rather, waiting on the molly to come in. But it's not. It's Zoking himself to get the job done. Close and personal, and a bit of damage even dealt out onto NCL as well. A deep banana smoke restricting control, and well, with that now the rotations beginning to come around towards that A-bomb site to have a little bit of a stack in place. The Mongols, I mean, the plan here, if they lose this one, then they're pretty much forced to give up a 15th before fighting for the overtime.
Oh, awkward for Yami. Trade will be there, NCL. They need a bit more than that, though, don't they? There's some low HP players here. Definitely potential. Chester goes down as well. Joking gonna follow him. Uh-oh. Marek in the pit, though. They're not ready for this. The last line of defense. Good for one so far. Maybe needs another. Oh, it's gonna be tough, man, to break in here. The bomb as well. Out on the balcony. NCL trying to find the drop. It's actually Sogo to get it, but the two of them, I think they had it. Salmon, the only one left. Looks good for the 1v2. That first frag was the hardest, and he will indeed get it. Again, so close for Mongols. But they cannot get these rounds over the line, man. There's a few things that need tightening up. Maybe on Mirage, that will be the case. But here on Inferno, it looks all but over.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. I mean, up until this streak of rounds, really, for YK, it looked like Mongols had a good shot at stealing this away and putting themselves in a, as we said, kind of prime position for maybe a 2-0 on towards Mirage, but yeah, it's not looking too likely anymore. So King charging down mid. We've seen this from them in the pistol rounds as well. Since then, they haven't tried anything quite as crazy, and well, it looks like the Mongols have no idea. There is a player in on the ramp, but he's not able to deal with it before already NCL's life is lost. The 1-for-1 trade, though, is honestly not a bad result. I think they'll be happy with how that's managed, all things considered. I don't think they're going to be raging too much. The timing a little bit unfortunate for Freeman, just as he backs away. We'll have to see what the plan is now in this 4-on-4. It looks like YK are considering some counter-aggression. I don't know if they're going to go any further with this, but they are doubled up in the apartments at the very least. The problem is that leaves mid completely open. It leaves the possibility of a long wrap open, a B wrap as well. It does leave a lot of weaknesses, a lot of holes in the defense, and it doesn't matter. Yami comes back and still manages to get the kill on Freeman. Chester at the very least returns, but that seems to maybe put a false idea in the head of the CT side, as you can see.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back to question it. Marek looking strong here. Nice first kill. Draws on those rotations as well. They'll break into the site, they'll get the bomb down, but it is that advantage for YK moving into this retake, looking for round number 15. So go. Can't win the fight, you've got to make something happen, right? In for one for Magnums, nearly two, to be fair to him. Not going to be the case, and 15 in for YK, yeah, I mean, the one moment for me, it's in the apartments, isn't it? Yami with that repeat. Maybe just get out of there, join the boys, and get yourself baiting, or, you know, keep making noise, keep that player there, keep them guessing. You saw the rotation start to come in after the kill, for goodness sake. So if he was still alive, there was maybe a full commit on the rotation on the cards. But he dies. And then they can gather the information and they can say, oh, well, it must be B. So here we are, map point, 5 in a row to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable. Not the hardest of things to do. East side of Inferno, not the easiest either, but it's worse maps. As the mollies do a ton of damage on Machine Gun especially. Magnums gets finished off. Machine Gun just about gets the trade, at least, as the continued aggression seems to be the wrong idea, unfortunately, for Salmon. But either way, YK still come out of this initial exchange with an advantage, even if they're maybe not quite aware of it, because I don't think they'll know that they have Machine Gun as low as he is. It was the early nade damage, of course, that took him to that point. Further nade damage now on NCL. No, never mind. Protected there by the wooden panel just about. So King's going back in for this, though. The anti-flash position is perfect from NCL. The problem is the second player that he has ready to swing back in for the trade was low health. So he just isn't able to do anything about it, and suddenly it's all on Sogu. He's had an incredible game so far. He's maybe slowed down over these past few rounds, but there couldn't be a better time to ask of him to step up again. As he moves in onto the bomb site, has the chance here to get the drop on the initial player, and he's going to find it. The bomb goes down, and, well, this is a very winnable 1v2.
Certainly not out of the question. Retake smoke coming in. Sogo on the edge of it. Yep, gonna get the double. There you go. Easy for Sogo. 11th round, and of course they survive a little while longer. You set him up, didn't you? He's had a great game, and I mean, a payoff round like that certainly got to feel good. He's doing everything that he can He just needs some support from the boys, man. We'll see. 4 more to take us to overtime.
That seemed like it was one of the harder rounds maybe to ask from them as well. Unfortunately, they haven't fully broken YK's economy, and their own one is still pretty rough with a few Galils, unfortunately, in play. But this will probably be the most difficult now of the remaining rounds if they can manage to get past this one. Then they have an eco in the following. Maybe just one more full gun round before they can send this towards that OT. And considering they've already got an opening pick here off the back of Magnums, is looking good. I think they're shifting their attention very quickly back towards B now to see if they can just make this commitment happen. Hoping maybe to catch one player. If they had of, we probably would have seen them pushing in off the back of it, but I think at this point happy enough to just have gotten the banana control uncontested and without really having to expend much of their already very limited utility.
That kills the big deal, though, right? This is really the round where you could see them potentially taking it to overtime, especially if they can win it with a lot of players left alive. Bolster their own economy. They'll wreck the YK economy. So we'll see. We'll see. Send a machine gun in. He's used to that angle by now. He's actually going to find the frag as well. Massive stuff. Joking, meanwhile, on the A side of things, it's looking relatively good over there. Salmon sticking around, does get timed on machine gun, finding the big kills. It's Freeman, 34 HP to get 3. Not gonna happen. Uh-oh. This has suddenly blown wide open. 3 more in a row to go. They're gonna have one more opportunity at a good rifle buy here on the YK side to take it in regulation.
Yeah, the chance isn't gonna come quite yet anyway. Haven't really got money to spend anything here either. It's just a single flash they pull out, so this should be a fairly straightforward round for the Mongols. Likely to keep 5 alive as well. If they can do that, then definitely see the path to pulling this back into the OT. Okay, the mid aggression, it's wild. It was expected as well, though, as you've seen with multiple players holding, and well, despite 1 kill coming in off the initial trade, YK unfortunately aren't able to get anything else done. But now they're on the guns. This is pretty much their last real chance to put an end to this now. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at an overtime. Surprised we aren't seeing a pause being pulled out, to be honest.
Well, you know, balls to the wall, baby. That's how they do it in Asian Counter-Strike. That's for sure. We'll see here, man. This is kind of the last chance for both teams. Of course, 100% Mongols, YK in a more figurative sense. And then flash round to both sides. It's awkward. Only the 1-for-1. Trade not there. Chester trying to get out. He's stood in the molly. His smoke didn't really put it out. Goodness gracious. It's all over the place here in round number 29. But at the very least, YK have answered back. You know, they don't let Mongols take control of this round as they have done in the past 2 or 3.
They're not taking a gamble to just stack one of these bomb sites as they've kind of been doing before either. Just going for the 2-2 split. Does seem like it's going to be towards A as well, and unfortunately, they don't really have any quick rotations that can come through. Zoking just making his way back into the bomb site as well, as they might have a bit of a wrap coming around. They, at the very least, they're going to have to be cautious of it because of the smoke going down now. So it'll split the attention, even if they don't split the actual forces. As here we go, the push coming in now. They need to be quick because already those rotations are on the way over. Freeman from the balcony, good to get one, drops in, baits them into Zoking, and well, it's just completely collapsed for the Mongols, unfortunately. NCL is left all alone. Not gonna have a chance to do anything. Finished off by Chester in the end. There it is. It's 16-13. As the Mongols gave it their all, but aren't actually able to make that comeback happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they saved their best setup there on the YK side until they absolutely needed it. So really, really solid stuff. I think, yeah, a bit of panic, right? A couple decent rounds from Mongols. That's all it takes sometimes. They break that bank. But indeed, we maybe wanted to see the timeout, talk about it a little more on the YK side.